They don't need any introduction, and we're simulcasting with them, so I feel like I should just throw them the baton. I got a lot of clips, a lot of stuff I want to talk to them about. Hodgetwins on X, Hodgetwins on YouTube, Hodgetwins everywhere else. Very, very popular podcasters, talk show hosts. I've known them for many, many years. And wow, as they know, I've never been the big Israel beat guy. I'm about globalism, the left, the communist Chinese, any country trying to control us. I'm all about our national sovereignty. But now, every cliche, every trope, everything about Israel running the U.S., running foreign policy is here. You have them saying Joe Kent is a leader of a secret neo-Nazi coup. You have Bongino calling him a disgusting, immoral coward. You have Dershowitz saying we're all Nazis and we all need to be based. And you've got the head of the ADL saying we need to blow up Americans with pagers and do the same tactics to shut them down in an 8-front war. We all wondered 6 months ago what Netanyahu meant by 8-front war against Americans. So Israel not only has control of our foreign policy, they now want control of our domestic policy to protect that policy. And I am sitting here watching this so we get the Democrats out of power. Trump does a bunch of good getting us out of the carbon taxes, securing the border, all these wonderful things, banning men and women's sports. And then about 6 months ago, gets rid of Elon Musk, stops Doge, slows down the anti-corruption, and then just starts turning into Lindsey Graham in front of me. And Lindsey Graham's like, hey, we got Marines going to the island. We're going to take the Strait of Hormuz. Our Marines took Iwo Jima. They can take this. Yeah, 90,000 of them and tens of thousands died, you dumbass. Yeah, he was in the military flying a chair around as a lawyer. So you look at that little Nelly candy ass. Yeah, he may be able to suck the chrome off a trailer hitch, but that's about it. Liberace up there. I mean, nothing against the fact that, he's a little light in the loafers. But the point is, if he wants to go fight the Iranians, he should do it. Where's the Trump that said if Hillary wants to go have war with Russia, she should go join the military and get a gun? They said that was a threat against her. No, it's the old saying. You want to fight this war so bad, you suit up, badass. I want Lindsey Graham to be volunteers for it. I'm not saying, airborne, doesn't have to qualify. He can just jump out of one of those C-130s and just come down there. So Hodgetwins, we'll just go back and forth, but it's great to have you here. Thanks for simulcasting with me. What an insane time to be alive, gentlemen.
Yeah, and who saw this coming? I mean, when Trump said he was going to usher in the golden age, boy, he was fucking kidding or lying. I don't know what he was talking about. And not to mention, when we first started his administration, they said they was going to cut into the national deficit and all of this. And they spent over $1 trillion in the last 5 months. And now they're asking for another $200 billion to fund this illegal war in Iran. Yeah, I don't think, MAGA was supposed to be America first. Yeah. We're not getting America first. Yeah. We're getting Israel first. Yeah. This country is occupied. Yeah. Let's make Israel great again because, it's almost like, he didn't do a 180. He did a 360. It's like I don't even recognize the man. He transitioned. Yeah, he did. So when they had a conversation about Joe Kent the other day, talking about, he changed. Then he started, deflecting, talking about the man's wife, talking about how he lost an election. He's missing a lot of context. The elections that he lost, it was in a deep blue state that he almost won. He never wanted to bring up the fact that he's a war veteran. He's went to several wars and then tried to make the suggestion that he married a little too early after his wife was killed by ISIS. Yeah, and Trump has been married how many times? Yeah. Why is he deflecting like this? Because he wants to discredit this guy. Yeah. And when you look at the facts of everything, this guy is a patriot. Yeah. He's America first. He's the upper echelon of what I would say an American is. And then not to mention the first day of this war, they bombed an Iranian elementary schoolgirls, elementary school, the first day of this war. And they lied about that. So why would they continue to lie about that? And then when finally they have to tell the truth, they tell the truth. Mm-hmm. I seen Trump and Hicks was standing behind him. I think he was getting off of Air Force One. Air Force One. And he was asking him about what happened. And he tried to put it on Iran. Yeah. And I could tell the body language of Pete Hegseth. He knew it was a lie. Yeah. And it looked like he went to cut Trump off before Trump puts his fucking foot in his mouth again. Yeah. Because he he tends to put his foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
He goes off script a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the left is calling him out. Bernie Sanders said the other day he's a pathological liar. I hate to admit it, but I think Bernie Sanders is right. And, you know, I'm so during this whole operation and that they did not that it was a war. Now everybody should be obviously everybody that there's a war, but it's like from the very moment this whole operation began, it's like everybody starts attacking people in the right that was with Trump from the very beginning. I mean, a lot of people abandoned Trump and jumped on the DeSantis train. I mean, we was a couple of those guys. Then we came back to Trump. I mean, we've been Trump the entire time.
Well, let's be clear. We're now told that Mark Levin is the litmus test. He goes, this is what you must be. Mark Levin was a never-Trumper. So is Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
so is Lindsey Graham. And then we're told we're not the original MAGA. Well, let's get this straight. I'm 1776. And I come from the old school even before that. So let's be clear. Trump didn't create me. In fact, all I got was persecution, censorship, and attacks supporting Trump. We built the launch pad for Trump. And so I've always said I'm not MAGA. I'm all for making America great again, but I precede that. I'm 1776. I'm America free and strong and anti-globalist. That's, America great. How about America free? That is what, so don't, like I'm in high school, oh, you can't sit at the cool table if you don't agree with Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro with almost no listeners. They're complete jokes. And then they sit there and so my issue is this. I'm sure you've seen it, but I have seen dozens of Mark Levin and Shapiro and Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's lawyer. If I get that Dershowitz clip, I want to play it. I'm sure you've seen it, but for people that missed it, saying literally that Joe Kent, who I knew his politics, kind of a libertarian, conservative, Lebantur's wife, you know, aid worker, you know, interpreter, CIA probably, you know, over there, you know, he was blown up, I mean, killed, okay? And then he's not allowed to say, I'm against this war that killed my wife. And it's like, and then Bongino's calling him despicable, a coward, all of this crap. I mean, this is just insane. So here's a clip of what Dershowitz had to say.
Okay. We're seeing an attempted coup within the Republican Party by neo-Nazi fascists, led by Kemp, who is a clear neo-Nazi fascist, and then also by Tucker Carlson, by Fuentes, by Owens. We're seeing an attempt by these neo-Nazis to take over the Republican Party. Fortunately, good Republicans, headed by President Trump, are stopping it. And President Trump said, these people are not MAGA. These people are not my people. But they're trying to take over the Republican Party. And Kent blames Jews for everything. You know, he blamed the Jews for the Iraq War. Israel was against the Iraq War. I know because I spoke to Prime Minister Sharon. He spoke to President Bush and urged him not to go into Iraq. But according to Kent, anything that was bad had to be the Jews. This has to end. The Republican Party has to disassociate itself from its fascist neo-Nazi wing, which is growing within the Republican Party, particularly among young people. And it's a real threat to America, to democracy, to American Jews, to Israel, and to American values. And we have to put an end to it now.
All right, I want to unpack that and have the Hodgetwins' big take on that. But I mean, number one, I follow all this. I can do a whole show on that. He was talking about his wife getting killed in Syria, not Iraq. I looked it up. Kent didn't say that. That's just lies. Okay? So he's literally saying Joe Kent blames the Jews for everything. You can go look at what Joe Kent said for years, hardly nothing about Israel. So literally because he says the intelligence assessments that were done by the other intelligence agencies said a 90% chance the Mullahs don't fall, 100% they try to block the strait, they'll be successful. Don't do this. His own chairman of the Joint Chiefs said that. Then he has the will to resign and say, it was a pleasure to serve you, sir. I hope you'll change course. I'm doing this because I can't be morally part of it. And then within days, he leads a neo-Nazi coup. Meanwhile, we have Israel literally running our foreign policy and now coming in to run us domestically and saying it and saying they'll use pagers in an 8-front war to blow us up. I mean, this is like a Twilight Zone, Hodgetwins.
Right. Yeah. And Dershowitz, he became a pathological liar overnight. Everything he pretty much said was a lie. I mean, the reason why we went into Iraq is because weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. Israel gave us that intelligence. Yeah. For him to say that Israel had nothing to do with this, it's like a slap in all of our face. Yeah, the majority of money, the majority of our national debt is because of Israel. Brown University did a study. Is approximately $15 to $16 trillion of our national debt is funding foreign wars based on Israeli intelligence. I mean, I don't hate Jews, but I do hate the fact that we are the backbone of Israel and we support them with whatever endeavor they want to go into. Like this whole Iran war. Doesn't make any sense. They said there's an imminent threat there. There's nuclear weapons. Over a year ago, back in January, Operation Hammer Bullshit, whatever it was, they said they neutralized that obliterated. Yeah, but all of a sudden, there was another imminent threat. I don't believe anything that come out of Trump's mouth or anybody in this administration because it's not adding up. Well, if you destroyed their Air Force, their Navy, and supposedly you destroyed the imminent threat of nuclear enrichment, why are we sending more troops there? Why are we trying to invade that country? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think it was never an immediate threat. I think it was just a ruse to get everybody here in America on board with this stupid war. Well, it was that they used that angle. They also used the narrative, make Iran great again. Yeah. Let's free its citizens. Yeah. That stuck with a lot of boomers. Yeah. That watch Fox News. Everything's been a ploy. Yeah. And for them to for Trump to label these people MAGA. Yeah. Like for example, you, Alex. You've been like a Trump supporter since day one, and that's made you a target. Right. Right? And you had all these people come after you, and now at this point, after all your support for him, you have no access to this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Laura Loomer has access to him. Larry Loomer has access to this guy. She voted for Hillary Clinton the first time Trump ran for office. Ben Shapiro, he voted for Hillary Clinton. But you, as a journalist, you supported them the entire time. Yeah. No access. And you are never.
I mean, let's be clear.
Now you woke.
I mean, access has been offered, but my access is on air. My access is to the people. I don't want to go hang out at Mar-a-Lago or the White House now. They're not asking now. I was very happy with Elon and Doge, and we were moving so well the first 4, 5, 6 months. Then it was like a record skipping or when a car crashes. Whenever stuff started to change course, and now it's so flagrant, I've just been trying to get him back on course. I think the big question is now, can that be done?
Yeah. I got to ask this question. Is he compromised? Yeah, because I don't think they're pulling a ruse over Trump's eyes. I think he's either in on it or he's been blackmailed. It's either one of the two. But I don't think this is a ploy and that they're some kind of musician, Israelis and the Israel government pulling this ruse over Trump. He's either in on it or he's been blackmailed because what he's doing now is just a total about-face what he had promised everybody here that they voted for him.
And it's not just this issue. They killed almost all the investigations into stuff against him. The auto pin against the voter. All of it's being killed. The investigations into weaponization against his supporters, all being killed. And so I never wanted access or like all his main orbit, all get business deals and all that stuff's going on. I've never tried to be in the establishment. I want to be the guy that's separate from it. But what I did love was, wow, we've got Ed Martin. They've created a task force. He's got all this proof. He's going after him for all this stuff. He had the goods. He had on the auto pin. The chief of staff said, no, state's evidence. They had a committee illegally doing it. He thought he was going to go to jail. And then Todd Blanche just killed it and removed Ed Martin. So, Trump absolutely has to be compromised. And from all my intel, it's not him, but it's people very close to him. And it's very bad stuff that Epstein had. And Epstein was an Israeli operative. That's come out in the documents. It's in the emails. And also MI6 and CIA, because they're all mafia. They don't let you operate unless they're together. And that's a lot of the Trump orbit, which are former Democrats, because literally it's almost no Republicans have ever been found in this, okay? But he brought in all these Democrats, and it's them, and they've got Trump orbit screwing kids and worse. And so that's it. That's why they got him.
Makes sense because Trump is not a typical conservative Republican. He is governing like a Democrat. He's always been a Democrat.
Well, he told MTG. She called me months before, And she said, oh my God, I don't know what to do. He just told me, it's going to embarrass my friends. You need to stop it. And they went up and made up that whole thing. Her poll numbers were down and she wanted to run for governor of the Senate. None of that was true. And then she was just like, whoa, I'm tapping out. Like, the Democrats want to put me in prison and you won't, and I'm not going to be part of this. And then she told me about a week before she resigned, she said, I may just resign, but don't tell anybody. I just can't be part of this. And she reminded me, she said, he's telling other people I know the same thing. He calls them up. What are you doing embarrassing my friends? I mean, if you're going to call up and say, cover this up, you just say, oh, it's old, or we can't take, or, it's national security and blah, come on. No, he's straight up. He's like, this is going to embarrass us and hurt the stock market. And I told everybody that, because I heard it from other people too, even before he got back in. Hey, don't expect this, because the CIA and others came to him. And then remember, the press secretary said, oh, this will hurt the stock market. You ought to be happy. It's about the stock market. So they're literally saying this.
It's like his go-to is the stock market. Even Pam Bondi during the congressional hearings, oh, the stock market's at 50,000. I'm like, what does the stock market got to do with any of this? These people are guilty. You need to bring these people to justice and get, justice for the victims. It was such a slap in the face when Trump said the Epstein files is a hoax. Yeah, a hoax. How can he come out and say that when he ran on that? Yeah. How can Pam Bondi says the Epstein files are on my desk, and then he usher in influencers to hold up these empty binders with no information.
And by the way, that's why I love Elon so much. People, because he's so successful, say, oh, he must be bad. And maybe he was bad in the past, but he's made a turn. Trump's turning towards evil. Musk is just better and better. Musk said, get rid of the EV mandate, all that. And then he was not even getting government contracts. He was in there cutting all this stuff. And then he found out about Trump and Epstein and said, he's in there. There's a cover-up coming. And then he left. I mean, you got to really hand it to him.
Yeah, he said that. He said it. He tweeted, Trump is in the Epstein files. Yeah, and then that's when they had their whole spout. And then he started calling him some ugly things. And the things he says about, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massey, calling these people traitors, and then what he's doing to Joe Kent. I was like, man, I've lost pretty much all respect for that man.
Well, let me just say this, and I'm interrupting. This is so important. We're on a lot of radio stations, not on the internet, and on Rumble and on X. This is the majority view. On talk radio, people are smart, but they're thinking, well, Democrats are 10 times worse, so we just need to stick with this. And I'll be honest, I'm not a lesser evils guy, but I kind of agree with that. I think it's important to cover Trump doing bad things so he gets back on track, hopefully, and that Israel's openly saying they run us. That's terrible. But then how do you guys divide it where you still spend time on all the evil stuff Democrats are doing? Because, I mean, remember, when Trump's gone, now we got them to deal with. So it's very paradoxical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the thing. If Trump's not the president, I don't think we're at war with Iran. Yeah. I don't think we have, 15, 16 dead soldiers right now. Yeah, we wouldn't have those 170 dead Iranians. We don't have dead Americans being shot by ICE. We don't have $7 gas in some places. Yeah. I mean, I don't want Kamala or Joe Biden in, but this is how much currently right now Trump is screwing everything up with these moves that he's making. Yeah, I'm still a Trump supporter. I'm still a Republican. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and grovel at everything he does. As if everything is correct. Like that poll on CNN, 100% MAGA is down with this. And then I post about it on Facebook and be like, MAGA, we're killing it. And it's like, how do you fall for CNN polls? Yeah, we just lost a couple of congressional seats. I think they both were in Florida. Trump carried those seats. He carried the last Republican 17 points, and Democrats took those seats. I mean, the writing's on the wall. These midterms, it's going to be catastrophic. I mean, Trump, when he won the presidency, that was like an American dream. It was the biggest comeback in American history. Yeah, after what he had to endure over the last 18 years. Yeah, huge momentum. But he had American in the palm of his hand, and he's blowing it. He's blowing everything. We could have had Republicans be the next president. J.D. Vance had a great possibility of being a two-term president, but all that's gone. All that's gone. Because how is this war in Iran going to end? Yeah, and how is it going to benefit Americans? It doesn't. It doesn't. Thousands of soldiers are going to the Middle East. Yeah. If those deaths start going into the hundreds and thousands, the Republican Party is done for the midterms, and we're done for 2028. Yeah. And J.D. Vance is gonna have this stain on him that nobody's gonna want to even touch him as far as Republican voters go. He's gonna have the vice president. He's gonna have that opportunity, and they're gonna ask him this question when he's running for president, because he's gonna be the GOP nominee for the same question they asked Kamala. Yeah, the same question they asked Kamala on The View. What would you have did different? And if he says he wouldn't have done anything different, say goodbye to J.D. Vance, say goodbye to GOP presidential office, and say goodbye to in the midterms. We're going to get ramsacked.
Ramsacked?
Yeah. I mean, we had everything going for us, and they're just ruining it. Like, you got Lindsey Graham up there on your screen right now. Why does this guy have access to Fox like he's in the war room with Trump? Yeah. Why is he talking like that? Yeah. Why does he have so much pull? Why does Trump not talk down to him? Have you seen the interviews where he says, "I promise this country we'll do this"? He talks like he's the president.
Yeah, and he lifts up Lindsey Graham, but he criticizes Joe Kent.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It's backwards. I mean, if anybody with a IQ higher than 6 knows, this doesn't sound right. Lindsey Graham? He said the other day, he said, instead of saying Semites, he said Semonites. He's thinking about semen when he's talking.
Well, we know that's about all he thinks about that in nuclear war. Look, vampires drink blood. Lindsey Graham drinks semen. He's on he has a carnivore diet. Lindsey Graham was on, you didn't know that? Lindsey Graham is on
all the way right there.
Yeah, look at that. In fact, he probably just took Trump in the Air Force One bathroom.
Yeah, Trump's got this look in his face, man. He sucked the soul out of me.
I'm sorry. It's a joke, folks. I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, we joke with Republicans, right? We can make fun of our own.
Well, let me just say this. I'm going to come back and ask you guys, they're saying anybody that's against this war is a neo-Nazi coup plotter. Did you guys know you're neo-Nazi coup plotters? Because you've been listening to some of the articles. I just found out.
A black man from the South is a neo-Nazi? If you believe that, man, you got to be a moron.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, now let's see if my memory serves right. I believe 90,000 Marines invaded Iwo Jima, one of the islands they had to take before they got to Japan. And if memory serves, I think like 13, 15, 20,000, I'm going from memory, died. Let's ask Google AI. You just go to Google, and you can do it ChatGPT or Grok or whatever. You just type in number of Marines that invaded and conquered Iwo Jima. All right, 70,000 to 74,000 U.S. Marines were involved in the invasion of Iwo Jima. I know there's a 90,000 number. Oh, there it is. In addition to the Marines, the total U.S. forces numbered around 110,000, including sailors and Army personnel. Yeah, I've read a different thing. I think it was 90,000 combat troops, 20,000 support. But the point is, I got it generally right. Duration of the battle, 36 days. Casualties, 26,000 to 27,000 Americans. 7,000 Marines. Okay. Again, the way you look at the numbers, they're broken down. So remember, didn't nail it. It's worse than I said. Sorry. People always accuse me of exaggerating. No, it's almost always worse. So see, you got to test it. Opposing force, 21,000 Japanese. Dug in is the problem. Okay? So, and you can say, well, we got high-tech weapons. When you actually try to take land, though, boots on the ground, Pentagon estimates are hundreds of thousands of troops just to take it, tens of thousands of casualties. Unbelievable. So here's Lindsey Graham saying, hey, the Marines are on the way. And we took Iwo Jima. Yeah, with 110,000 troops, 76,000 Marines, 20-something thousand dead. And here's Lindsey, who was just a lawyer in the military. I bet he couldn't tie his shoes when he was in the Army. Okay, definitely can't find his ass with both hands. He knows how to stick his tongue out of his mouth constantly. And so, here is Mr. War Demon saying, hey, we took Iwo Jima. You know how many Marines are going? 2,000. They're sending a contingent of the airborne. It's like 5,000. So they're saying that 8,000 U.S. troops. Have you looked at the Strait of Hormuz? 2,000-foot cliffs all around it, thousands of square miles, mountains all above it, with the main military all dug in with all these islands, and the main military base there all dug in. Unbelievable. So We're supposed to take on an army. The Iranians have a 1 million person regular army, about 2 million extra. They estimate there's a couple 100,000 there. So 7,000 U.S. troops are supposed to take on the worst terrain in the world, totally dug in against hundreds of thousands. Here's Lindsay, military expert Graham.
Program has been obliterated, and they're running out of money. So here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Carg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Carg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from the Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Carg Island. We believe in their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterbacking. This has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines. I don't know if you take the island or you blockade the island, but I know this. The day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die on a vine. And here's what I want to do. I want to get with Chris. I want to sprint to peace. As the war winds down, I want peace to ramp up. The reason we don't have Saudi Arabia and Israel making peace is October the 7th, 2023, Iran through Hamas attacked Israel, stopping normalization. I want to take up and complete what Biden started.
So complete and total crap. The Iranians aren't going to give up when that happens. The strait will still be closed. And so they're saying, we'll cut off your money. They don't care. The Pentagon already gave an assessment that is accurate. Hodgetwins, what do you say?
Let me say this. When we invaded Iraq, you don't think Iran was watching? They knew this day was coming. Right. They've been preparing for this for decades. Yeah, not to mention Iran, they have home field advantage. I mean, so far, this whole operation, this war that America and Israel is waging on Iran, they failed to understand that we do have a superior air force. They don't even have an air force. So everything thus far has just been missiles and bombs. But as soon as you send troops there, on land, on foot, the advantage goes to Iran. Yeah, like you said, Alex, they got over 1 million soldiers. If they send 2,500 Marines and then 5,000 Army, I mean, that's a suicide mission. And not to mention, if they try to take back the Strait of Hormuz, it's just a grinders. It's almost eerie of that movie. What's that? The jet movie that just came out. I forget. Top Gun. When they flew in the jets in those canyons and mountains, that's a lot like the Strait of Hormuz. So if the United States really honestly think they can go in and maneuver their way and take over that, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think they could eventually do it, but at what cost? Yeah. How many American soldiers are going to die for Israel? Yeah.
Well, you just nailed it, and that's what I want to say at the start of the segment. Thank you for reminding me. Lindsey Graham is actually smarter than he acts. He thinks we're dumb. It's called, and it goes back actually to Persia, is where they think chess was invented, but we know the first writings of it, because I looked this up years ago, is in Persian, and it's called a pawn sacrifice. Guys, look up pawn sacrifice in chess. Pull up that move. And that's where you draw people out the way you want, sacrificing a pawn or lesser piece. And listen, it's a cold-blooded thing about being a general. It's what they teach at West Point. You don't like it, but it's a decision you got to make. You'll send in 100 troops, 1,000, whatever it is, as an expeditionary group, because back then they didn't have drones and satellites, to draw out the enemy to get a look at their strength. And you'd have scouts behind that would see what happened to the guys you sent on a suicide mission. So maybe you get 500 guys killed, but you win the war and save 100,000 or whatever. This is a pawn sacrifice. They are now, we'll get Americans involved once we trap 7,000 U.S. troops and Marines on a death trap island surrounded by mountains and passes in their most fortified area, and then everybody's going to go ape when that happens. So this is a false flag. So let's go back to pawn sacrifice for me real quick. All right? Let's pull up definition of pawn sacrifice real quick if we can. You just had it there on screen, but it's okay. A pawn sacrifices is in chess the intentional giving up of a pawn to gain a significant strategic or tactical advantage, such as faster deployment, better peace activity, or an attack on the king. Now, let's be clear. It doesn't just get us drawn more in, they think, with the American psychology, because I think up front people are going to get pissed. Like if they blow up an aircraft carrier, actually the first response will, okay, now we want full war. Now later people will figure it out. But more importantly, we will find out where they're hidden bunkers, where, you know, artillery pops up, missiles pop up. They're going to be watching all that when they're obliterating our troops. But do we really want them doing that when we were told this wasn't even a war or the war was over, Hodgetwins?
Yeah, right. Trump said it's already won, but we don't know when we're leaving. And MAGA's still contemplating if it's a war or not. No, it's operation. We're in a 40-year war, and Trump is trying to end it. It's just all BS. It's just this bait and switch that Trump has pulled over is the people that supported him, and then for them to just hop, just to follow along, it's just mind-boggling. It's kind of disappointing because I thought the right was way more objective than the left, and it seems like the right is just as bad as the left because a lot of objectivity on both sides are not there. You know what I'm saying? The left and the right is two sides of the same coin. Yeah, the voters. Yeah. I'm actually really disappointed in the right. Yeah. Because when I criticize Trump on Facebook, I get attacked. I get called Democrats, Muslim sympathizers. It's like, it's really frustrating. Even when you point out that he's lying, they still don't want to say that, hey, I agree with you. No, it's just, it's almost like they're slaves to Trump. It's almost like, it's like cultish in a sense. And that's what destroyed the left. The Democrats, there's no objectivity.
Well, exactly. Because they don't want real constituents putting pressure on Trump to do the right thing. They want him isolated and then to cut off his real supporters. So that now the neocons, the globalists have full control.
Right. So you think that's what's happened? They've circled Trump and he's not hearing the real message from his true supporters?
Oh, he's always had trouble with what they call bubble wrap. But back to the earlier question, it is ridiculous. I mean, they're literally calling not just Joe Kent, but I've seen articles attacking you, others, saying you are, quote, conducting a coup, a neo-Nazi coup against the Republican Party when it's literally a foreign globalist Israeli coup. They're literally, so what is it like to learn that you're a white supremacist conducting a coup?
I don't know to say. I'm speechless. I kind of like the white thing. I always wanted to be white. That was a joke.
But seriously here.
But like Larry Loomer, she tweeted out something that she has information on these anti-MAGA, these fake MAGA conservative talking heads online and say she's giving it to the FBI, the CIA. Yeah. We need to go to jail. And for them to call us grifters, especially you, Alex, people calling you grifters, us grifters, like if I was a grifter, I wouldn't have anything critical to say. I would just bravo at everything Trump does. That's a grifter.
Well, let's be 100% clear. I've never gotten money from Democrats or any NGO. All I get is lawsuits and attacks from them. And supporting Trump, all I've gotten is hell. And I never was doing it for money, and I didn't have all the money they claimed I had, but I lost 98% of what I had. I'm happier than ever, quite frankly, because I didn't have much extra, but it's kind of good to downsize a little bit. And I wasn't living that large to begin with, but it's my integrity that matters. I never get up and say something off of, will this be popular or will this make me some money? I literally am always about what I think's right. That's just how my brain works. Right. And, you know, they've got studies out about lying. People that don't lie and train themselves not to, your brain doesn't even do the calculation to tell a lie anymore. You just spit out accurate info, which your subconscious and unconscious is hundreds of times more powerful. And now they found with Grok, the reason it is the best, gives the best answers, works the best, has the less hallucinations, like times 4 than even the next best one, is when you tell something to lie, and you tell all these other AIs, show everybody's black, so George Washington's black, everybody, the thing starts hallucinating because lying's hard, you know? And it's that simple. And I've literally trained myself because I've told lies. I mean, not about consequential things or really things on air. But, you know, in my life, I've, you know, hey, did you steal $20 out of my wallet? My dad say, oh, no, I didn't do that. I don't want to get my ass kicked. I just wanted to go buy some chewing tobacco. But the point is that I've just learned not to lie. And like I got pulled over like 5 years ago. I think, have you been drinking? And I said, yeah, I had a half bottle of sake about an hour ago. They said, get out, we're doing a sobriety. And I said, look, my Achilles is blown. It just blew all the way. I can't walk around and hop and do this. And they said, all right, you're going to jail. They drive me right in, test me. It's below the number. And the publicity was great. And the thing got dropped. And the cops were like, later I saw them because they're like, wow, we're surprised when people lied. You know, we'd have let you go. You said you had, and we had to do that. Why didn't you just tell us you hadn't been drinking? And I said, because I've gotten to this point where it was like I was paying a sacrifice to not even tell that lie. You know, so your wife says, does this look good? Nope. You know, I mean, I've just gotten to the point where it is so good because my brain does not even do calculations now about what do I want. It's what does my brain know is accurate. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah, you have a conscience. Yeah, like when Trump was lying about that school, I could see right through him he was lying. It was like, why would you lie about something like that? I understand in war, mistakes happen.
Yeah.
It's best to be honest about it. Take ownership. Take accountability. Why are you lying about it? The truth is going to eventually come out.
Hey, Alex, I got a quick question for you. What do you think Trump meant when he said, when oil prices start going up, when he said, we're going to make a lot of money?
Well, that's another thing is, doesn't Trump know that oil, he said this many times, energy is the base of any good economy and is what determines inflation more than anything. So he's like, oh, the U.S. has the biggest production. We'll make a lot of money. Yeah, but it doesn't really filter out like that, so it's going to kill your recovery. So what he does now is anything one-dimensionally he thinks is good news, he'll spin any bad fact. And he's just gotten to the point where, because I got to tell you, in the past, I know the facts. I know the issues. And Trump was one of the most truthful people I ever saw when it came to everything. Right. And now, I mean, you see him 4 or 5 times the same day, changes the story. And so, I mean, here's the deal. He's 79. Well, I'll tell you what's going on in a minute, but I think you know. I mean, his brain's going. And I don't mean he's got dementia. And I don't mean, listen, I'm 52. And and if I end up working till like 8 or 9 at night, I mean, I turn into a complete idiot. Even if I'm not drinking, and I've cut back and sometimes gone 6 months on drinking. But I can literally, if I'm exhausted and have like 4 drinks, I'm drunk. Whereas I'm at the beach and not tired, I can drink 7 drinks, don't even feel it. But now I'll sit there when I haven't even been drinking for 2 weeks, and it's 8 o'clock at night, and I get home and I worked all that time. I sit down for a minute and wake up face down at 2 a.m., didn't have a drink, I just passed out. Trump is a total workaholic. He sleeps 2 or 3 hours a night. You see him slurring his words now a lot and stuff. A 50-year-old couldn't do that. And so what made him so strong, the workaholic, Scottish, German blood or whatever, is now what's going to bring him down because he is exhausted.
Yeah, he does have a motor on him.
Yeah, he came out here at Vegas, did a rally before he won his election. It was 125 degrees here in Vegas.
Yeah.
He was on stage. He did a meet and greet before us when I first met him. He went on stage in a blue suit and in his red MAGA hat. It's 130 degrees. He's on stage for so long. People in the audience said, man, this dude needs to shut up or he's going to kill everybody. My phone got so hot.
Right.
While watching him, my phone turned off, and he's kept talking. So I do understand because he is a workaholic.
Yeah.
And that might be what's going on with him. He's working so hard, and it's...
No, it is. So I'll say it officially. It's not, 25th Amendment thing, because he's not, except it is. Here's what Trump is. Trump has Asperger's. I've talked to people that have assessed it. He has Asperger's, which is a lot of, and he's highly functioning. The things he knows, he's obsessed with. And so he really he thinks he's doing well. But man, 79, 3 presidential runs, like you said. I told people he'll be in like Alabama, 107, humid, Vegas, 125. And like, I mean, when I was like 20, I was in great shape, could do 100 pull-ups at once. The whole gym would be clapping. I'd go to a UT football game, the first game of the year, and it'd be like 105. And I one time literally started to pass out and had to leave. In my prime, I couldn't sit out there for 2-3 hours in 107. Exactly. He's crazy. And so at the end of the day, that's what we have here is, and you can see him physically, he ain't looking good. So.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm just telling you what I think.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Because me and my brother, we tour a lot. Well, we used to tour a lot, and the physical capacity you got to have, and mental, not only physical, but mentally, going from city to city. on a tour doing comedy, and to see what Trump is doing, I know how hard that is.
Yeah.
So that might be the issue that he's having. But
but your previous guest, known him 20 years, she doesn't recognize him.
right, we don't recognize him. It's like something's going on, and I can't. And that might be the issue. Maybe he's working too hard.
No, I think
he don't have the right people around him.
I think it's a combination. I think he's compromised.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
yeah,
He doesn't. It just seems like he doesn't really care about Americans anymore.
yeah.
He doesn't care about the things he ran on.
Yeah, the only people that benefit from this war is Israel. We don't have nothing to gain, because if Israel takes over Iran, and just imagine what that's going to look like with over 90 million people. If Israel gets a hold of Iran and makes that part of the Better Israel project, just imagine the power Israel's going to have with all that oil in the Middle East.
Yeah, but that's impossible. I mean, we was in Afghanistan for what, 2 decades?
Yeah.
As soon as we left, it was like we were never there. How are you going to pull this off in Iran?
Well,
It's
remember
impossible.
25 days ago, I came out and I saw you guys and said it's not going to work. And it's not like we're geniuses. We can read the military assessments that are almost always accurate. And they told him, don't do this. Now, he had the head of CENTCOM and others saying, go ahead and do it. But that's already failed. So there's no reason to even argue this. And that's why Iran, remember 2 weeks ago, Trump says, okay, here's a peace deal. They said no negotiations. And then he goes, I'm going to obliterate you. Unconditional surrender to make it look like he was being tough. Now he sends them a new plan. Okay, 30-day ceasefire, all this stuff. And Iran said, are you joking? No, we're not stopping.
Yeah, these are different breed of people. There's not transgenders walking around in that society. This is a society full of real men.
Yeah.
These are men. That society is a theocracy. They're very close to how the Old Testament, how they lived back then. Yeah. This is not like an American, a bunch of transgenders they hit in the army.
And all the women are becoming OnlyFans models. It's like, I mean, let me ask you this, Alex. Fox News, they always try to implicate that Muslims are our enemy, that the Nation of Islam is a threat to the United States. I don't actually believe that. I don't think none of that is true. You was going to say something?
No.
Yeah, that's what's being fed to us. I mean, why do Iran, people of Islam, of that faith, Muslims, why are they our enemy? It's only because of our relationship with Israel. If it wasn't for Israel, we would have an entire different relationship with the Muslims.
Yeah, I want to say this. Like when Trump and like the boomers on the right, his supporters on the right, do you think we can just go in there and destroy the army and that's how you're going to win the war? That's not the same war that Iran is fighting. They want to destroy the economy.
Yeah. World economy.
The world economy.
And they don't have to win.
They don't have to win the war. They just have to destroy our economy, and they win.
And they keep saying they have a regime change there. Regime change means absolutely nothing because their culture will live on regardless of who's in power there.
Yeah,
well, that's in the assessment, but you guys raised something. We got a whole other hour coming up here in a moment. We'll break. And I know you guys aren't really taking breaks, so you're welcome just to go live on your stream during there. We were having some fun during the last break, because I thought we were simulcasting and you guys were live during the breaks. But I've actually studied the sociology, the anthropology, the archaeology, the history of all of this, and the different factions. And you could teach a triple PhD in it. And I'm not saying I have that, but it would take a triple PhD to understand it all and the history of it. But Islam was very barbarous and a real death cult set up by Muhammad. And then it got stopped by the Crusades and pushed back. The Crusades were a response to 700 years of attacks. That was long before Israel was around, modern Israel. Israel had been around since 70 AD. That's when Titus, the Roman general, sacked and destroyed Jerusalem and tore down the temple, the second temple they want to rebuild. The first one was, of course, Solomon. And the second one got destroyed in 70 AD by Titus, the order of Emperor Pompeo. They want to rebuild the third temple where the Dome of the Rock is right now. So this is all so well documented in history. It's a huge subject, but just the Crusades were a response to 700 years of war. They almost took Poland. They took much of the Serbia and all that. They kidnapped at least 5 million, mainly women, out of Spain. You know, they took 90% of Spain for 500, 600 years. Only the Moors survived up in the north in the mountains. And they're actually basically Neanderthals, weren't the only group in the world, but long story. So you have that going on. And so in the modern parlance, yes, what stirred up the Muslims and helped fund their more, I don't call them radical because really they're Orthodox Muslims. There was a major reform after the Crusades of the Muslims. A lot of their expansion slowed. And then even up until the 70s and 80s, it was rock and roll, Playboy magazine, most of the places. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but you know what I mean. It was reformed in most areas, and it was integrating, and it kind of had a reformation. But the CIA, with British intelligence, even before that, started funding all the Muslims and the most radical groups, starting, well, the British about 120 years ago, but the U.S. after World War II. And so it's beyond, you know, if it wasn't for Israel, if it wasn't for British intelligence and the U.S. and then the Israelis picking up on it, creating, you know, Israel created Hamas. You guys know that, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then, you know, Jimmy Carter, Al-Qaeda, all that. And then, and then Reagan, Mujahideen. So this is all declassified. And so the problem is the people driving Islam were put in by the globalist to now create this clash. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the Hodgetwins. If they want me to keep going, I'll explain it, because it's all on record. All right, I want to ask the Hodgetwins this before we join some stages of 6 After, and I'll finish up with my brief history lesson. And I have some interesting clips I just so happen to have in a stack today. We've got former top counterterrorism official John Loftus, and military expert, on how the CIA is really run by the British intelligence. Then the Nazis took it over in World War II. And then by British intelligence in the U.S., and now by Israel. Of course, he was like the #2 in counterterrorism, John Loftus. I want to try to explain that to people, that it's pretty sophisticated. But let me ask you guys this question. It's paradoxical. Again, I'm really upset with Trump. I'm trying to get him back on course. More and more I don't think it's going to happen. Israel's literally trying a domestic takeover, not just foreign stuff. They admit they are. Making incredibly dangerous, you know, statements of threatening people, saying we're Nazis and all this. What do we do about the Democrats, though? Like, what's going to happen if they win the midterms, or if they get back in the White House in 2.5 years?
I'm afraid that this war is going to go so bad. We're going to lose the midterms, but we're going to lose it so bad that we're going to lose the House and the Senate. And if that happens, if Democrats have the votes, not only will they impeach him, they will remove him from office. Yeah. And if they have that amount of power, what will they then do? Yeah. I mean, we're kind of caught at a rock and a hard place, because who's going to believe us that the left is crazy when you got Trump casting this war over Iran, and we losing, hopefully I'm wrong, thousands of American lives. I mean, what power will we have? I mean, the GOP is just ruining everything that we put on we gave them pretty much a silver spoon for them just to take over, and for the next decade or two, just for this country to start leaning more moderate and right. At the very least, more moderate, if not more Republican conservative. But now they painting this bad reputation over Republicans like we warmongers. We killing United States citizens in the streets with ICE. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, we can stay positive. The best job we can. Hopefully, Trump can turn this thing around. Hopefully, because he has, 2.5, maybe 3 years left? Yeah, I don't know how he turns it around. This Iran war, how do you fix this? Yeah. It's not an easy fix. Yeah. You only been there, a month?
I predicted this. I'm not trying to brag. I mean, we already had the military assessments, plus I studied it. I agree with the assessment. That we've always done one of the main crisis points for America and the world be this, that 90+% chance it would be regime change. 100% they block the strait. We can't stop them. Then we got to send in ground troops. They're belligerent. The head of their military says, "Please, we're waiting for this trap." This is insane. It's like sticking your hand in a lion's cage, or, you know, punching it in the face, or climbing in with a gorilla or something. What do you think is going to happen here? So, and then I was against it, even if I don't like the mullahs. It's a terrible idea, and now it's just off to the races.
Afghanistan is the perfect example. Yeah. What did we accomplish there? Nothing. We were there 2 decades. You think you're going to just wrap this up in Iran in a couple of months?
And the longer this goes on, the entire economy of the entire world is going to tank. And that's just more ammunition for the Democrats to say, look at Trump's economy. Look at the gas prices. I mean, in California, there's gas prices around $8 a gallon. Here in Nevada, gas is approaching $6 a gallon. I mean, what power will we have if Trump keeps pushing this war? And I don't know, man.
And again, Fox News and everybody, they all spend the same talking point. Short-term pain for long-term gain. No, it builds into the inflation. Now about raising interest rates, that kills the whole plan, which would the bankers want. The bankers don't want Trump's recovery. So they got him to do this knowing it'll kill his economic recovery.
Right. You're exactly right.
I don't know how he turns this around.
Yeah.
Maybe Alex, maybe he looks us like 3 idiots. We take over the Strait of Hormuz. Everything goes successful. There's minimal losses with our military, and he makes us like idiots. But I don't see that happening because Iran is like twice the military that
you just read my mind. I was about to say, I hope he succeeds. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Let's come back to that. Real leadership. Well, the entertaining, informative, and very popular Hodgetwins are simulcasting with us today. Again, for their viewers wondering what's going on, I'm on hundreds of radio stations. For the younger folks, that's called network radio and TV. Most networks on TV, 15, 20 minutes ads an hour. We only have about 7 or 8. And so many times when we go to break, people go, they went to break because there was a key thing being said there. No, those breaks are hard programmed in. Just want to be clear with everybody there. And that's why the regular listeners know that and laugh about it. But for younger folks, they just don't seem to understand it. But a lot of the radio stations don't carry the first 6, but I don't want to just fill that with ads, so we cover it on the internet. But some stations carried it. But I literally, this happened 3 or 4 times with you guys today. And because you are twins, I always get confused who's who, so I apologize. But the brother on the right was sitting there. He was saying, you guys will like wear name tags, seriously. But
got tired of that in 3rd grade.
No. But I'm serious. I was about to say, I don't want Trump to fail. I need him to succeed. I'm so sad about this. I hope I'm proven wrong, even though we've been proven right. And this turns around. We're not happy about this, but we're moral. We stand on things. We can't just have him run on something and do something and know it will be a disaster, and then it is a disaster, and then we're now Nazis and we're evil and all this. And you literally you got cut off by the break. Literally, word for word, what I was about to say, you started. So go back and repeat the start of what you were saying.
I hope he's gonna. I hope he's right. I hope we're the idiots.
Yeah.
I will want nothing more than to see us be victorious. Everything work out.
Right.
Peace in the Middle East. Everything's great here.
Yeah.
The golden age that Trump talked about, he was going to usher in.
Yeah.
I hope that's the case.
But there's not giving him much confidence when they start calling us neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
Fake MAGA. It's just.
There's no need for that. We've just got criticism.
Yeah, you're using the same tactics as the left.
Yeah, I'm a black guy. I'm supposed to be a Democrat. That's the way I'm supposed to think. I don't think that way.
Yeah.
I think for myself. I think as Keith Hodge. I don't think as a black guy. I don't think as a Republican. I face every situation objectively. Yeah. I'm not going to grovel for Trump.
Yeah.
Every little thing he does. I'm not going to do that because that's not the man I voted for.
Yeah, and I'm not a sycophant for the right. I mean, I voted for the right. I'm a Republican. But I'm not just going to agree with everything you do.
Well, because the policies aren't truly populist or conservative or constitutional. We're not the ones that got off the reservation. They are.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I didn't actually leave the Democrat Party. They left me. I used to vote Democrat. I voted for Gore, Kerry. I know, dumb Negro, but I voted for these people, right? But they went so far left.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm Christian. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-gun.
Yeah.
I'm a Republican now.
Yeah, now when you just got a sliver of criticism for Trump, all of a sudden a lot of the people that support you, they try to call you fake MAGA. You're never Trump, or you're a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, we had criticism for Trump, and we lost 15,000 followers on Facebook that day alone.
Lost 100,000 over
all our social media, over 100,000 followers, when we start criticizing them. And I was like, and I'm like stuck. I'm like, I don't want to come in and just lie to make money and to grift.
Yeah.
That's not why I started my our political channels. I want to change the direction of this country. Yeah. It's not about the money. It's actually not about the followers.
Yeah.
It's about getting to what's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's best for this country.
No, I agree. Let me throw something in at people. I've been doing this 32 years, and I didn't. Nobody was really doing it like this. I came along around the internet kind of exploded. I was self-trained. I just thought things were interesting. I wanted to tell people. So I never had some formula. Never had. When they've sued me, they're like, "Where's the formula? Who tells you what to say? Where's the strategy stuff?" Have interesting people on to cover news, but I never sat there. And whatever I like or whatever I use, I get as a sponsor, so I know it's great. I mean, it's just totally normal. But now that I watch how the left operates formulaically with lies, and then I see a lot of, obviously neocons are kind of the same establishment component, I see them using it on us, and it doesn't piss me off. It makes me sad because the neocons have been relegated now, and then somehow they've slipped back in because they've got Trump under their control. And absolutely, folks, I had the Democrats offer me $50 million a year to join them right before they sued me. And people say, well, tell us what was off-record meetings. That's not illegal, so I don't have off-record meetings and not, then violate that. But they tried to buy me. And they said, listen, you're going to get sued and destroyed by groups. You got this one chance to come do this and work for us. And I said, no. Wow. They said, you made a big mistake. And so my point is, I've been there at the top. I've seen it. I know what it is. But here's the deal. I never even thought about selling out. Don't even know how to sell out. But if you sold out the establishment 50 years ago, 20 years ago, you made money, you got power. It hurt civil society, it hurt civilization. Things got worse. But you were going to be okay. Now, I've made the point for years, and a lot of the elite listen to this and actually flip sides just out of survival mode. You keep the globalist model. You think you're going to make everybody poor and kill most people and have a great reset? The people are going to rise up and destroy you because we're going to expose globalism as the author of it, so you can't pose as a savior. We were successful, all of us together, but this operation, at the center of it, just on record, that's why I'm under attack. If we expose the left of the globalists and they're bad, they then can't pose as saviors when they create crises for depopulation and total control, which is their main plan. Now they're in checkmate on that. And then Trump was doing all this good stuff, creating a new order just out of ideas. Then they went, screw that, let's just go with power and take over the globalist system. So now he's creating the new world order. They're even saying that, and it's absolutely insane. So my message is people that want to ride the fence or join the establishment, it's a suicide mission. At this point, even evil people should be going for good because you're going to be destroyed by it. But evil can't help it. It's their nature. So I want you to speak to that idea of what I'm saying is now there is no one that can look at what's coming next should not be promoting freedom and justice and prosperity and transparency because that's the only way out of this.
Yeah, when you look at Fox News, you see that poll about MAGA 100% agreeing with Operation Stupid or Operation Forget About Epstein. You seen Lindsey Graham at that rally getting booed. I mean, everybody knows these polls are fake. I've sit down and talked to other Republicans and talked to people that's in the conservative movement. And just the other day at my brother's church, a guy came up to him, do not slow down. Keep pushing on this war. We did not vote for this. Everybody I talked to that voted for Trump is upset with him. So when he ran that poll on CNN that 100% of MAGA supports this war, I was like, it's just a blatant lie in front of everybody. Yeah, and why would CNN of all networks put up that poll? How much pull does Trump have with these news networks? I used to think that was all lies. Yeah.
No. He didn't have poll before. He didn't have poll before. He didn't know about the Smith-Mundt Act and its repeal. He didn't know about not just Operation Mockingbird, but the actual national security stabilization acts and things. That's how Obama kept control of the media. Even when Trump was in, he didn't know. And by the way, I don't think it's good for Trump to run the media. But when he's like, I'll just take the license of, ABC or whatever as a late night comic, people go, that's crazy. That's tyranny. Well, yeah, they can actually do it. And he's been removing executives, blocking mergers. So they are now censoring people booing Trump at the World Cup or whatever. And so it is happening. So the point is Trump had this time, the advisors came and said, actually, sir, here's the keys of control. You see, So no, he never controlled the media before. It was the opposite. Now he's starting to actually get control of it, you see. But what he doesn't get is it's a dead horse. Almost no one watches it or believes it. But then you see Caroline Levitt saying, X is not the real world. Nothing real happens there. You mean video of an earthquake or videos of missiles hitting Israel or video of Trump talking? Some of it's real. Most of it's real. Some of it's crap. But it's actually the free, openest channels there are in Rumble. And so the idea that, it's just all fake. We don't care what's happening there. X and Rumble and all that stuff. YouTube has more video views than everything else in the world combined. So don't sit there and tell me, it's not real. All it is more people with more cameras showing more stuff they don't control.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he ran on draining the swamp. It feels like he's the king of the swamp now. I may be totally wrong in saying that, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard of the swamp thing
like total
in that
betrayal.
movie. It says it's a swamp king.
Yeah, and then you got Don Bongoyo. He goes on with the FBI, and then he says the thing dearest and closest to his heart is Israel.
Same thing for Ted Cruz.
It's like, what? We're occupied. It's like, and then people try to defend that we're not occupied by this foreign agent, and they always say how Russia meddles in our elections and this and well, what are you talking about? We are occupied by Israel. They run all our foreign policy.
Yeah, you don't win elections in the Senate or Congress without AIPAC support. I mean, it's very difficult to do. I think a majority of people that's in office right now, besides Robert Massey, everyone else has taken money from AIPAC. Without that AIPAC money, you can't really win an election. And for us to be that close with a foreign nation is just a conflict of interest. And for them to keep telling us that they are our greatest ally, at this point, I think they're our biggest liability, because being in bed with Israel and going to funding these foreign wars is just increasing our national deficit at a rate that, we're never going to pay off. We're going to be bankrupt. Man, whenever I had friends that got in a lot of fights and a lot of trouble, and they brought that trouble my way, I would cut them off. Yeah.
Seriously. But Israel's brought us into all these wars.
Yeah.
They brought us into Iran.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they keep pushing this they're our biggest ally. It's just political spin because they own this country.
Yeah.
They own Trump. They're running Trump.
Yeah.
Bibi went to the White House I don't know how many times. I mean, what's up with these fake videos? Is this guy dead or alive?
Yeah, a lot of AI videos.
These AI videos that's coming out. Like, I seen his ring virtually disappear.
Right.
And then he had that cup of coffee, and it's like it's about to spill the whole time, but it never spills. He drinks from it, and it stays the exact same way. Why are they putting these videos out?
Yeah, and for Fox News to keep pushing this idea, I mean, I know radical Islam can be an issue.
Yeah,
I mean, radical Christianity can be an issue, but I got Muslim friends, and I think we have a lot of things in common with them. Like, they have a lot of high regard for Jesus and the Virgin Mary. We have things in common with these people. It's like we have nothing in common.
Well, you raised this earlier, and I didn't get to it all. So later on X and Rumble, we'll take the end of the last hour and sandwich this piece in for people so they get what I was going to say. You have to understand, you read the Quran, it's all about how he came in and took over Medina and then Mecca, and how to act like you're a friend, say you're a friend, and once you get to a certain number, start stabbing and killing people till you push people out till you get control of the area. And 100 years after he died, he controlled, hundreds of thousands of square miles, millions of square miles. And then about the Crusades, response to 700 years of Islamic invasion. So people want to make it you're with Israel or you're with the Muslims. Israel founded Hamas because they were radical to destabilize so they wouldn't get a good government in the West Bank with the Palestinian Authority, so they would have an excuse to keep blowing them up. Doesn't mean they ran Hamas, but they founded it. They stood down on October 7th. Here is John Loftus, is an American author, former high-level U.S. government prosecutor, former Army intelligence officer. I've interviewed him many years ago. Here he is. He was like number 2 in counterterrorism under multiple administrations. Here he is explaining that the Muslim Brotherhood and all of it is run by the CIA, and that Obama funded the Arab Spring. So the globalists are up above all of that, and they're creating this clash. And they run Al-Qaeda, they run ISIS, they run Boko Haram, and then, because they don't want the Muslims having reform groups like the UAE, they want it to be the super hardcore crazies to keep them under control, but also use them as a threat. And then we've had the UAE and others warn us, hey, you better not take in these Muslims you're taking in. We've seen who they are. They're the most radical worst, and they're allied with the left. So just because we're mad at Israel, what do we do now about the Democrats and Soros funding the Islamicists who vote 99% Democrats? See, so there's a sophistication here. So this is a short clip. It's actually 10 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is former deputy head of counterterrorism, John Loftus. Here it is.
My name is John Loftus. I was an Army officer, a federal prosecutor at the headquarters of the Justice Department in Washington. And then I worked for the Office of Special Investigations, which was the Nazi war crimes unit that was set up during the Carter and Reagan administrations. And unfortunately, I discovered that many of the Nazis had been assigned to prosecute were already on the government payroll. So I ended up being a whistleblower. And in 1982, I appeared on an Emmy Award-winning segment of 60 Minutes. Mike Wallace got the Emmy Award. My family got the death threats. It was a great trade-off. And after that, I went to private practice in law in Boston and set up my own law firm for a while. But over the years, I've become a private lawyer for whistleblowers. And I charge my clients $1 a piece. I'm the worst paid lawyer in America, but among the better informed. In order to be a client, you have to have a security clearance above top secret. I had a Q clearance for nuclear weapons secrets, an SI clearance, which is the wiretapping NSA clearance, and a cosmic clearance for everything in NATO that was top secret and above. So I could read the British intelligence files and the Dutch intelligence files, as well as the American files. And so I was the first person in a half a century that was able to go through the classified vaults where all these old intelligence files are stored. And they're stored out in Suitland, Maryland, an interesting place. There were 20 security vaults underground, like bank vaults. And each vault is 1 acre in size. It's a little bit of, remember the last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Well, that's what the underground vaults are like, only not as organized. But I was looking for something unique, not just for files about Nazi war criminals, but evidence that might suggest that the hunt for Nazi war criminals had been obstructed. Evidence that the trials had been fixed. My first boss was a prosecutor of the Nuremberg trials, the bankers' trial. And he was the one who told me that he thought the trials had been fixed, that resources were taken away from him and the other people.
All right, let's stop right here. I sent the crew today 160-something clips, and I sent them a different Loftus clip. I have a clip here that we'll add in post for X and Rumble, where the Dulles family, deep state department, I think it's later in the clip, but it was a shorter version, and CIA created, he's giving you background here, so it's fascinating. I've seen the full clip. The House of Saud, which was it was OSS before that, and the MI5 took over control of the post-World War II Muslim Brotherhood Nazis, which created groups like Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Syrian Kurdish rebels, Mujahideen, KLA, ISIS, ISIS, Al-Nusra, Hezbollah, Hamas, etc. These are the CIA independent rebels for chaos, and he goes through it all. And he goes into the name of the operations that do it, the secret war against the Jews. Okay, and he's explaining, though, that he gets later into it. Now, you've got Israel, Netanyahu is part of that now. So now let's understand why Israel created Hamas. But let's play this clip. This was backup under a clip from me 16 years ago or 15 years ago that Mike, oh, bear it shot, guys, that Mike Benz posted last week, got a few million views. And this is where I describe U.S. aid funding Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and Boko Haram. And this is a 15-year-old clip. And then right here you have last week in the Oversight Committee saying the exact same thing. It's a short clip, but here is Congress talking about this last week. Here it is.
Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism.
The point is,
this has
guys, and I'll send the Hodgetwins the full clip. There's a bunch of them. But it is on record that British intelligence, then the U.S., and then Israel is involved and kind of runs it, literally runs all of the Orthodox Muslims groups. Does that make sense now?
Yeah. Mossad. It all leads back to Israel. It's like, okay, Iraq or Islam, it's a definite threat. No, I'm not denying that. But I just, from an elementary standpoint, Muslims, they hold Jesus in high regard. There's a whole chapter section on his mother Mary, right? You go to the Talmud and the Jews, they hate Jesus. So it's like, why is it that we're so, I think it was George Washington. He said our foreign policy, we should not have direct allies. We should have allies. We should have the same respect for all countries. When you pick one country over another country, you're going to create these hot points with these other countries because you're playing favorites. I think our foreign policy should be that we work with each and every country equally for the best of the world, not one particular country. Yeah. And that's why we're in this situation we are now, because we're playing favorites. Yeah, and that's why we got
there's no doubt you're right about that. Let's finish your thought on that. We're back in a few minutes. The Hodgetwins, stay with us. By the way, listeners, we have a special that ends Friday, limited edition InfoWars shirt. When you subscribe to any monthly product, bovine colostrum, ultramethylene blue, ultramethylene red, a proprietary product we have, the Irish sea moss, the T3 true atomic ion that nobody else has. If you like the X2, this is even better. You subscribe, you get 50% off, and it locks in the future, and you can cancel for free anytime in your profile, one click. So right now until Friday, the InfoWars lives forever, limited edition shirt. Speaking of Iwo Jima, it's the American flag getting raised with InfoWars, where the stars are. Really powerful. Great job from our sponsor at Bigley. Get that absolutely free with any order when you subscribe. And you get the best deals when you subscribe. Also, if you're going to buy any product, you become a VIP, $30 a month. You get $40 to spend in the store. Special deals, special offers, special sales. I want to thank you all. Get canceled for free anytime. Because each month, whenever you sign up, a month later, $30, bloop, charges you unless you cancel. You get $40 credit. If you're going to buy anything, become a VIP. Speaking of you guys, we've been on for an hour and a half. You also work with Bigley. Amazing guys before I worked with them. Work with Stephen Crowder, some other great people. Tell us about your shows, your websites, some of the best apparel, just everything Hodgetwins.
Yeah, the reason why we started to get truck giveaways about 3 years ago, we've given away over $2 million in cash prizes, trucks and cash. And the reason why we started doing that is because we want to support the people that supported us. So, I mean, I wish I could give a truck to everybody that watches it, but unfortunately we can't. So that's how we give back to the people that support us. Whenever you buy at officialhodgetwins.com, every time you order something, you enter to win our giveaways, our trucks, our cash money. Yeah. It's like we used to pay for ads on Facebook. Yeah. And I was like, why am I paying for ads on Facebook to push our merchandise, to push our message when they're censoring us anyway? Yeah. So we just incentivize the people who support us the most and give back to them. That's the whole point. Reason why we give away trucks. Yeah, and I think a lot of billionaires can learn from us. I mean, I don't have nowhere near the money some of these billionaires have, but, you know, if I can give back to the people that support us, or these billionaires just pretty much sucking all the money out of the economy and just leaving the bank, they could be doing so much good with that money. And that's what motivates us to get back to the people that support us. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it's real simple. None of us that tell the truth, and none of us agree 100%, but we have integrity. It's not that it's not some sheet of music we read. We're seeing it. The Bible says you look through a rose-colored darkly. Our own humanity distorts some of it, but you got to go with who's been the most accurate over time. And I have integrity. You guys have integrity. And we're just telling the truth. And those are the voices that need funding. But voices that tell the truth, they come out to your sponsors, your bank accounts, everything. That's why going back like 15, 16 years ago, I had sponsors. They were great. They would get harassed. They get bomb threated, everything. And I just said, you know what? We're just going to sell our own. I already made films and had T-shirts. But I said, you know what? I'm going to go hire a supplement expert. I'm going to put it on myself. Because that's the way, they can't, shut me down unless, they kill me. And so then obviously I'm incentivized to want to sell somebody something that really works they're going to love. So our supplements are the best. We have the widest selection of T-shirts, some of the best designs. You guys have some of the best as well. Just, same folks come up with them. But that's what it's about. And you're literally, funding people to tell the truth. People can say, well, what is Bigley doing? They got Crowder, it's over here, does a great job as a journalist, a little more, I wouldn't even say middle of the road right wing, just his own thing, but that's what he believes. I agree about 95% of it. You guys, 95% or so, I'd say. Sometimes I hear what I said, I disagree when I think about it later. The point is, though, we have integrity, and we're not being controlled. We didn't talk before you came on. We just invited you on. I've been trying to get you on for a month. We don't sit here and but the left, talk about the left. When I used to go on CNN and all these things, until I refused to go on there anymore, before I got banned, because it's just pointless. They want to talk to you for off and on for days. And what are you going to say? And what are you going to do? Even if it's taped. And if it's taped, they edit it and all stuff. There's no time for it because they're puppets. With us, folks, we do the research. We do the best we can. And we fly by the seat of our pants. That's what you want. No filter. But it's your support that keeps us on air. What's your best-selling T-shirt? I hear it's that Patriot shirt.
The Christ is King. Yeah, the Christ is King. Who knew that would be anti-Semitic?
By the way, your designs are some of them are even better than mine. We have a wider selection, but who designed those? Because I was telling Bigley 6 months ago, I go, the Hodgetwins got some better shirts than me. What the hell's going on here?
It's DEI. He's giving us better stuff.
Oh, you guys didn't come up with that?
No, we didn't. There's some white guys you working with. Yeah. We're so busy. You know how it is, Alex, when you're running your own show and you're looking for content to discuss. You don't have time to.
Well, just give me permission to copy that cross one. I like that.
Hey, we need more of this. Ted Cruz needs this.
No, I literally told them 6 months ago, I said, I like that Patriot shirt. They go, how'd you know it's the bestseller in Christ? I said, well, get their permission because I want that. And they didn't do it. I'm getting mad at Bigley right now, damn it.
Yeah, they did.
Who bought them TVs, bitch? Tell me that. Anyway.
Yeah, those guys are great. Yeah, they're great. We've been working with them almost 3 years now. The best business decision I ever made. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, that's a whole other story I'm going to get to soon. They're trying to shut us down right now. It'll be Bigley that owns the Alex Jones Network because I can't own anything anymore with all these fake judgments. So that's fine. I'm like, hey, I'll work here, piss up a rope, bitch. So they are so pissed off.
Yeah, it is so un-American for people to attack it the way. Yeah, the lawsuit's going. That's
a 10-hour story. So, I mean, it got declassified. The CIA ran it with the FBI. They had all the proof. They admitted it all. And then Todd Blanche killed the criminal investigation. We had them, whistleblowers, everything. But we're civilly suing them now. We have all the stuff. And so that's why we don't hear from them. That's why they keep their mouth shut now. But no, it was all run by the Democratic Party. Michael Bloomberg funded it all. Obama directed it with Hillary. Yeah.
His last name was Bloomberg, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Big shocker there.
I just think...
That's treason, man. Have government officials attacking, independent media. And nobody goes to jail. And that's what Trump ran on. And I haven't seen any of that. Has Trump defended you in any of that?
You know why Trump calls Bloomberg little shoes?
Little shoes. Called little shoes. He must have little hands, just like Trump does.
Hey, guys. Pull this up. Pull up Trump calls Bloomberg little shoes. So I talked to 3 different people. So he can't single them out because he's had hundreds of security people over the years. But I first heard this about 15 years ago, before Trump said little shoes. It was whenever he was running for president. Maybe it was 10, 12 years ago. And then I heard about it from another security guy, another one. Michael Bloomberg, I feel sorry for him. He is like 4 feet tall. He has little deformed feet that curl under. No, I'm serious. And they're baby feet. So
baby feet.
He
probably look like pig's feet.
Yeah. And the thing is, he already has little shoes, but he stuffs his shoes full of newspapers and he sticks his feet in those. And that's why Trump calls him little shoes. And I'm not trying to be mean to him. He's deformed, but he is pissed off, man.
Yeah. I would be too if I had a couple pickled pig's feet and I'm stuffing my shoes full of paper and Trump's making fun of me. You ever tried Pickle's pig feet? It's the nastiest black thing you would ever want to do, but it tastes good. You can have them Bloomberg feet. Eat you some Bloomberg feet. Yeah, so Trump's way back then, he's always using, he come up with nicknames for people, huh?
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of that, people up north think that chicken fried steak and fried chicken is a black thing or collard greens. They don't know that now it kind of went out with my dad's parents, but they always had the big old glass jar of pickled pig feet.
Yeah.
We got a few photos of me like 3 years old with a big old pig trotter. That tastes good.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Hey, did you eat chitlins?
My dad would, yes. Well, back then they ate everything. And so his black nanny would cook chitlins and they'd eat it. But
wow, you're blacker than I am. I never ate that shit.
No, listen.
My mom used to make that. I ain't eating that. The whole house is like ass.
No, it's people don't know it's boiled pig guts.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to, you boil them for like a day at low, then you wash them out, and then you're supposed to fry chitlins. So how'd your mom cook them?
Just like that. Then she would put some Louisiana hot sauce on them. Yeah. It's disgusting.
No, I've had chitlins a few times. You want to go further. At the end of the Depression, people were so poor in East Texas, there wasn't hardly any animals left. And even though my family was an upper middle class, had land and stuff, they lost almost everything except the property. And everybody says the South's so racist. It was like everybody was friends, everybody was nice. But my grandfather was a county tax assessor. After World War II, he was so nice with poor people in general. He would just nix their taxes, blacks, white, you name it. But I remember on Thanksgiving, almost every year we went there, you'd have like 5 or 6, sometimes 10, 15 black people show up. And a lot of them didn't have cars. They were really old, but some of them, they come in a car and they come and thank us and give us pies. We'd have like 15 pies in there. And it was all because my grandfather would just, basically because they were poor, just say, you don't have any property taxes. So it's kind of like Robin Hood stuff. But no, my dad has eaten armadillo. So yeah, and he's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's right.
That thing looks horrible.
Yeah, sometimes my grandparents would say, hey, we're going to go to Dallas or whatever for the weekend. And so my dad and his brother, they would go stay with their mammy, about 2 miles down the road, down by the swamp. And it was a lot of fun. And I got to meet her before she died. I mean, I was a little kid, I knew her. She was a really nice lady. And here's the other thing about my dad. He was sick a lot. They didn't know why, and was wasting when he was like a year old. And he wasn't, he was having trouble holding down food, all this stuff. And then she said, that's because Miss Patty is making me keep him too clean and not let him crawl around the ground. So she snuck and gave him Hindu teas, what they called it. And that was boiled chicken shit. And guess what happened after my dad had the boiled chicken shit and another thing she boiled up of like clay from a certain riverbed. Perfectly healthy after that. So, yeah. But now they know raw chicken shit that doesn't have antibiotics in it has incredible antibiotics in it. Fake antibiotics suppress it, but boiled, it's a good antibiotic.
You know what? You know what's crazy? I had these warts on my fingers when I was a little kid, and my mama wouldn't take me to the doctor. She said, I'm just going to go to the grocery store and get some chicken gizzard. She went to the grocery store, got some chicken gizzard, put it on my warts. My warts just fell off.
Well, that's the thing, is that people think all those wives' tales, almost all of them working are real because people didn't have any money. You better figure it out or you're dead.
Right.
I mean, who knows? Who knows that a milk thistle? That stuff grows all over the world. Purple flowers, thistle, got spikes on it. You boil that and then slice off the outside. It's super nutritious, literally an antibiotic, great for your liver, everything. But people don't eat it. They don't know about it. But that was some of the white people knew all that stuff, but generally they weren't so poor they'd have to know it. but it was the black people knew all that stuff, and it all worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the French, when they
so
had to leave Canada and went down to Louisiana, they were so poor, and they picked it all for the blacks. They have all that same stuff. It all works too. They've done studies. All that stuff's actually real now. It all works.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have mineral treatments back then, and but people knew, like, oh, you're gonna have a miscarriage. Oh, you can't, and they said, oh, you're wasted. You need this certain type of, and they know right where this certain clay had it. And now they've studied that clay that actually has all the stuff you need. Well, you'll have like Northerners, whoever, come down here, anthropologists, and see like these old black women digging clay out of a certain place in the woods. They're like, this woman's crazy. Then they go test it. It's like a multivitamin.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's like, why are these crazy black people eating dirt? So it's crazy, man.
They had to figure it out, like you said, or they was going to die.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, my dad's eating possum. He said it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, we used to shoot rabbits. Rabbits and squirrels.
Rabbits are good if they're cooked right. Rabbits are good.
Man, that is, your dad is not human if he ate that.
No, the way they ate it is all, he said they fry it. And then you just cut the meat out.
I don't care if you fry it, saute it. I'm still not eating that. That was an armadillo?
Yeah. Well, that's a roadkill armadillo. You run out in the field and grab them by the tail. That way you get them fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy what poor people come up with. Like a lot of my family, my wife's family, they're Mexicans, right? And somebody hit a deer in the road. He got out his truck and picked it up and threw it in the back. He was just cooking it. Yeah. I mean, when they have food. Yeah, because they're poor.
Well, it's like, actually smart. If you hit a deer and kill it, it's fresh. Why not go butcher it? People don't know how. Yeah. All the time as yuppies move into the countryside, they'll call the sheriff's department when they drive by some guy's house and he's out in the tree in the front butchering a deer. They go, he's abusing the deer. No, that's how it's like weird. You're chopping up a deer. You're a weirdo.
Right. Yeah. That's how you get meat. Yeah. A lot of these people on the left, these wokies, man, they don't like our food manufacturing, but hey, you eating a hamburger, you eating meat, you know what happens. You know how that gets to the grocery store, right? Yeah. You have to capture it and take the life of that animal.
Absolutely.
You're just not doing the hard part.
I remember her name now. I remember asking the question too. I was like, well, when you go stay with Stella Mae, whenever your family went out of town, sometimes a week they went to the beach, leave the kids. They didn't leave the kids with grandma, even though grandma lived there across the street. Grandma was a little bit wild.
They always are.
But the thing was, Stella Mae was her name. She would keep the kids for free. She loved them. But it was like, but they're going to come home and help me take care of my pigs and my chickens. And I've been to her house quite a few times. And it's just this little old black lady, because her husband died like 30 years before. She had all these pigs and her own cows and her own chickens. But the point is, you'd see that as being mean to kids, making them like 5, 6, 7-year-olds work. They love it. There's really, these kids love all that stuff, but they're not taught it, so it's all died. That real farming culture's dead.
Yeah, everybody's stuck on their phones now. Yeah, everybody's so used to going to the grocery store to get their food, they forget, how that food gets to the grocery store. And that's like we had Owen Benjamin on our show a couple of days ago. He's got his own farm, and the way he describes it is this pure paradise. A majority of the food he eats, he breeds it right there on his farm. Yeah.
Well, I don't do a great job like my uncle. He can butcher a deer in like 45 minutes, like in cutlets, all perfect. But I can chop one up pretty good. But I just feel sorry for people who don't know how to catch a fish, don't know how to skin a fish. I mean, they think it's weird, They think it's weird. Right.
It's the most natural thing you can do is provide for yourself your own food. Because a lot of this food we get out of the grocery store, all of it's fake. I was eating some shrimp and crackers thinking everything was organic and, and comes from Mother Earth. I look at the ingredients on the box of crackers, says GMO on it. Genetically modified crackers. My crackers are not even real. Well, it's real. Real enough.
Well, there's actually studies on this. I heard about 30 years ago, but there's just studies now. You'll have somebody that is like 40 pounds overweight, they still exercise, whatever. They go to Europe for a job, especially Eastern Europe, where there's like no GMO stuff. Western's getting bad. Yeah. And you'll lose 40, 50 pounds eating like a pig. Mel Gibson didn't look bad, but he's been over there for almost a year making the second Passion in Rome. He's like, I can eat all the pasta and all the food I want. I'm losing weight. And he looks great because it doesn't have GMO.
Yeah, you go to a McDonald's in Canada or the Netherlands or Australia or United Kingdom, the hamburgers, everything tastes totally different. Like when I went to Australia for the first time and had real authentic spaghetti and meatballs, it tastes out of this world, and it's nothing like here in the United States. The chocolate is different. Yeah, everything is different.
Oh, have you seen?
A lot of the
in
people
Mexico,
here in America
even though
don't
they make
understand.
Hershey's there now, it's the candy bar's hard. Have you noticed? Because I've only done the new Hershey's are like rubber.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't understand here in America. A lot of our food is just poison. Yeah.
But
They'll
then I
realize it
looked
once
it
they
up.
get
'Cause
out
I might
of
eat
the
a Hershey
States.
bar like once a year. A few months ago, I buy one. And I get it out. I think there's something wrong with this. So I search engine on X, and there was all these videos, and it turns out it's like a third wax now. It's wax.
Right.
Guys, I saw it again 2 days ago. Go to X and type in what's wrong with Hershey bars. Because people are all noticing, like, it's cold in your house. It's not like it's hot. You pull it out, and it's like rubber. And by the way, it's not even black. It's like brown.
Right. You look at the bread, you smush bread. You just take just go pick up any brand of bread, ball it up in your hand like this, then put it on the table and come back 2 hours later. It's like you didn't touch it. It's like you didn't touch it. Yeah, it's what happened to Maha. He's going to get rid of all this stuff, right?
Well, listen, Kennedy got a lot done until Pam Bondi, because their lobbying firm gets the money from all those groups. Yeah, look at this. This is real, folks.
Wow.
Because I was driving home one night every once in a while, I get a sweet tooth. So I pump gas, I go in, and I get a Topo Chico, and I go, I'm going to have a Hershey bar. Hadn't had one in like a year. And and this is in the winter. It wasn't cold, so I'm like, is it hot? Why is it? So I get home, stick it in the freezer, pull it out, and it's still wiggling around. I mean, this is, what is this? Folks, I'm not kidding. Go get a Hershey bar. I'm not lying. This is real.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't.
And by the way, until about a couple years ago, Hershey bars weren't brown like that. They were dark brown. Remember?
Yeah, they were darker. Right. Yeah.
And see, people aren't going to remember this who aren't older now. They're going to think that's a Hershey bar.
Yeah, they think it's normal.
By the way, I'm not going to lie.
growing
I
up
still, when I read it was a third wax Salate, it tastes like crap. But I haven't bought one since.
Like it's got plastic in it.
It has wax.
Wax.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize. People don't just, like, I'm going to be 52 this year. A lot of people don't, like, growing up, we used to eat Domino's pizza, and that pizza's in Pizza Hut, that pizza doesn't even taste the same. Even the hamburgers you buy at I remember the Whopper used to be great. I don't know what the hell that thing is now. I don't know what that is. It's like the food has changed so much. Yeah, I've done that before. Bread actually does that. It's like a sponge. Wash the dishes with that.
Well, you've seen it. It even goes back to
Super
Size Me 20 years ago, but people do it all the time. You can buy a McDonald's hamburger and not even put it under glass. You can just leave it in the back of your car, and a year later, it's not even blemished.
Yeah, no mold or anything. Yeah. It's funny when you go, like, you see these commercials, and then you look at it, like, at the drive-through menu, you look at the food, and then when you get it, it's like, what the hell is this? It's all fake. Yeah.
Well, we have to demand more quality, but it was in Memorandum 200 from Henry Kissinger. Even before that, you saw the 1952 CIA document about poison the food, the water, and the shots. This is what we are under attack. We were the ones they had to worry about, and so we get mad at Americans. We use more drugs than anybody in the world combined, legal and illegal. We're put with more poison, and Kennedy got the fluoride out. Justice Department blocked it. Banned glyphosate. Justice Department blocked it. Trump's not. So what happens is, it's almost like Trump uses good people to shake down the corporations. And then he goes, hey, my guy got all the dirt on you. Pay up. If you want to get really nasty, I don't think it's Trump. It's the people around him, though. They bring in the regulator and go, oh, we got you. Actually, you work for us now. And I don't think I know that's what's going on now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the whole infrastructure is just, it's been rotten, and it's been rotten a long time. It's hard to, do you go straight after so long? Like, where do you see Trump's presidency? How do you think it's going to end after his term is over? If you
well, we got 2 minutes left, guys. I got to come back on or come back on with you to answer that question. They're going to say, Jones, when asked the question, went to break. Yeah, it's the end of the show, 3 p.m. I don't like Mark Levin, but they're all like, he went to break to cover that up. I checked the clock time. No, that's set breaks.
Right.
I mean, a million things could happen. But, I mean, I think the Democrats, just through fraud, because they haven't been able to shut the fraud down, but I think the poll numbers, I think they lose the House, maybe the Senate, and they're going to go completely crazy. and just Trump's not him, but all the sons of the administration are doing really questionable stuff. But Bondi gives them waivers. It's just Congress gives himself a waiver for him to start trading. So I don't know, but I think Trump is cashing out, and I think he's made a deal probably. But I don't think the globals even keep the deal, and I don't know that. But I think a deal's been made. I think he's sold out. He's not even that. He's not. I go back and forth, but I definitely know that I mean, we can go down the line with his advisors. I mean, take Howard Lutnick, man. I mean, basically was best buddies and lived next door to Epstein, and were at the island constantly in business together. Yeah, and then he says, I don't know him and all that. I mean, these are bad people, man. So, I mean, and Trump, let me tell you, people go, oh, you admit you're wrong now. No, Trump legitimately was night and day of the Democrats. I mean, they did real stuff for the globalists. I mean, the carbon taxes have been killed. That's all falling apart. You can buy incandescent light bulbs. You can buy regular toilets now. The border is 96% shut down. That's why it's so paradoxical. Mm-hmm. He was the real deal, not permanent until 6 months ago. And he went, and like you said.
You know what's crazy? I agree with everything he's done thus far. It's just I do not like this Iran war. Everything else I agree with. Everything else. It's just this war. I hate it. Yeah. That's the only criticism I have of Trump and his administration.
Because
this Iran war. Everything else, I'm totally hook, line, and sinker with them.
Plug your website again.
Hate this war.
The Hodgetwins website.
Official Hodgetwins.com.
Yeah.
And I'm at Real Jones on X. I was about to take down InfoWars.